Fall has hit the South in a big way. It is cool temperatures, but a sunny afternoon here at Vaught-Hemingway Stadium as the Ole Miss Rebels play host to Arkansas. A series that has really had some fantastic games over the years. Hopefully we'll have another one to bring you this afternoon.
Now the Razorbacks winless in conference play.
Arkansas has lost 3 in a row. Arkansas won the toss. They defer. Ole Miss will get it. Here is Jalen Jones, an explosive return man. Dances his way around to the 25-yard line. A 22-yard return. Of course, a new quarterback taking the snaps today in the starting role, Jordan Ta'amu, the junior, out of Pearl City, Hawaii. Is it mission impossible?
You know, it's funny because you've got a guy in Shea Patterson who was giving the SEC maybe a chance to have the nation's leading passer. And in steps Ta'amu. Not many people know a lot about him. The coaches very excited about what he can bring to this offense. A similar skill set, but it's implemented differently. A little bit more decisive, a little bit more of a runner.
6'2", 212-pounder. Nice quick throw. First up, that one goes to Dawson Knox, picks up 10. Take a look at our starting lineups brought to you by Principal Financial Group. And certainly Dawson Knox is a guy that they're going to have to focus on. Big hole off the right side. There goes Jordan Wilkins. We didn't even know if he's going to play, but the answer is emphatically yes. 6 for the Rebels, 64 yards. That'll get your day started the right way.
You think Ole Miss offense was ready to go in this one? You come in, you got a new face at quarterback. What's the best way to get going? Well, you build on last week's performance. Dawson Knox had a career high at his tight end position. And then Jordan Wilkins, one of the top all-purpose yardage generators for this offense, taking it the distance on the ground.
Point after is up and good. 7-0. Rebels out in front. Haven't even played a minute.
Well, the opening happens right on the right side, and it's excellent vision by Wilkins because he ends up taking it on the backdoor cut. They pull a lineman from the right side, Alan Givens, working towards the left side of the offensive front, and Wilkins just sees a vacancy on the backside of this run. Great vision from the running back of Ole Miss, a guy that has really stepped up his production early on. This offense very much one-dimensional, very pass-oriented. We think that we'll actually see today, Dave, what the offense is intended to look like. Patterson's more of a creative player. Ta'amu will play within the structure of the offense, and Wilkins, a guy that they've needed and wanted to step up in the ground game. He's done so. The last 4 games, 365 yards on the ground. And boy, he announced his presence with authority early in this contest.
Boy, the Hogs against SEC opponents averaging almost, allowing 48 points per game. That one will go to Devion Warren, who had a 100-yard kick return last week. And he'll get it out to the 30-yard line. I'm thinking somebody might take one back to the house today. I'm just guessing.
We knew coming into it, special teams would play a role.
Well, the big fella, Cole Kelly, gets another start today. The freshman, the redshirt freshman, in place of Austin Allen, who's still out with a bad shoulder. He's had some bright spots.
He has. He's a big body, obviously at the quarterback position. He's not overly mobile, a decent runner, but only when you get him moving downhill. There's a reason why they call him a steamboat. He's a hard guy to get stopped, hard guy to bring down. But it's been difficult for this offense all season long, regardless of who's been at quarterback, of keeping their passer clean. Keep an eye on the line of scrimmage today to see just how well the Arkansas front plays.
Here's Kelly. Loves to run with the football. The big fella has an opportunity on first down, and he'll pick up 5 yards. And a late flag comes in. Ole Miss did kind of run him into the bench area.
You know, it looked like more of like it was an escort off of the field of play by Marquise Haynes. It didn't look like there was too much extracurricular there.
Didn't look vicious at all.
There is no foul on the play. Second half.
All right. Yeah, it didn't look like there's much, especially when you're dealing with a quarterback and a boundary. You got to be careful. You got to be aware of that as a defender. These officials are going to have eyes on the situation.
So second down and 5 for an Arkansas offense averaging 27 points a game, 71st in the country. Cut back from Devil Whaley. Breland Speak strips him up. Gain of 3 as we take a look at the starting lineups for Arkansas offensively. And certainly this is an offense that's got to rework its offensive line and give that guy, Devwa Whaley, and of course David Williams, their other running back, an opportunity to run.
No question. They need a big day out of Devwa Whaley.
Close to the first down line. Whaley on that carry right to the 40-yard line. They're going to move the chains.
And the idea here today for Ole Miss defensively is to try to get Arkansas into their passing attack. Try to win on those early downs. They want to stay away from second and mediums, third and short. Right now, Arkansas, when they get in those third down scenarios, they're able to convert at about a 42% clip, sustaining drives versus this Ole Miss defense that struggles versus the run.
Straight handoff off the right side. That'll go Whaley to the 46. Joining us again down on the sidelines, Dawn Davenport. And Dawn, this is third straight start for the quarterback, Cole Kelly.
It is. Footwork was the focus for Cole Kelly this week. He told me when he popped in the tape of his other starts, when he saw his mistakes, he realized it was when he wasn't stepping up to make a play in the pocket. So he did some extra ladder work this week during individual drills. His focus, 2 hands on the ball, eyes up, moving forward in the pocket. Guys, the emphasis on feeling the rush, not having to necessarily see the rush.
He will step up, check out that footwork as he tucks it and runs. The big fella close to midfield, gets 3.5 yards when it's all said and done.
We're talking about some footwork. It's pretty fancy footwork for a big guy. And when we say big, that's a gross understatement. He's enormous at quarterback, but a great job of picking up yardage to set up yet another third and short.
Oh, he faked the sneak and the toss out to Whaley, who will have the first down. Got a couple of yards on that one. Brought down by Dante Evans, the redshirt freshman linebacker.
You see a lot of offenses, they'll fake a quick dive. Well, when you've got a huge quarterback who's not scared to run it between the tackles, he kind of gives a fake sneak and a flip outside. That's that fake 62, halfback flip left or flip right, and get out on the perimeter easily when the defense commits to stopping that dive.
Handoff inside the 45 all the way down to the 40-yard line as we look at this Ole Miss defense today. And we could see some interesting alignments.
When Arkansas and if Arkansas goes with some of their big personnel, multiple tight end sets, you'll see 5 defensive linemen in the game for Ole Miss. DeMarcus Gates will be the only linebacker at the second level.
Broken tackle down to the 31-yard line goes Whaley. He picks up 8 more. Boy, this Ole Miss defense has really struggled. Last 4 games rushing, they've allowed 365 to Bama, 326 to Auburn. They held Vandy to 188, but 383 last week against LSU.
And a lot of it has been, it's not just technique or ability to get off blocks. It has been alignment issues where they have not been able to set their front 7 defenders appropriately, and there have been unoccupied gaps in the run game.
Williams will cut it back and get it inside the 30-yard line. Gates first one there, and then a whole slew of blue jerseys help him out. What are our keys to the game today, Stinch?
Well, for Arkansas, it's going to be able to formation and shift their way into some of these unoccupied gaps. Make Ole Miss align and play assignment football defensively. That's just pre-snap. See if you can't create an advantage offensively based on how you're going to set your formation. We saw shifts and formations last week by LSU to put Ole Miss out of sync and incapable of lining up in the appropriate gap, and it led to a record rushing day for Darius Geis.
5 receiver look from Arkansas, and Kelly. Pocket collapsed. And this is exactly what Ole Miss was looking for. Matter of fact, Bussy McGriff, the defense coordinator, said you got to earn the right to rush the passer.
Well, and so far, Arkansas has done a relatively good job early downs. Even when the pocket collapsed, we've seen Cole Kelly scramble forward to pick up positive yardage. That time, able to get the big quarterback down on the ground, something that's not an easy task. And this is the first 3rd and long that Ole Miss has been able to set up this entire drive. Keep an eye on that right side of the Arkansas offensive line. Brian Wallace at right tackle.
Kelly dumps it off underneath. Pass is caught. That'll be a first down for the Hogs. It goes to Deion Stewart, who was down to the 15-yard line. Picks up 16 yards on 3rd down.
Nice protection. Great job by Arkansas, allowing Kelly time in the pocket. Able to find Stewart, a receiver that they're expecting to step up a little bit. Jonathan Nance has been a guy that's kind of been a little bit quieter. Haven't trusted him as much at receiver. Great job finding the open man underneath to get the conversion.
Traditional I formation from the Hogs. Here's Williams. Graduate transfer out of South Carolina. His first year with Arkansas, picks up 3.
You see Taylor Polk in there at linebacker. He's probably one of the guys for Ole Miss that does the best job of getting their defense aligned appropriately. So you look at a pro set, a power I formation, something that's somewhat of a dinosaur. Nobody does this hardly anymore. Ole Miss is built to face offenses where they're in 11 personnel, a tight end, 1 back. When they get big like this, that's taking the Rebels out of their comfort zone.
Stewart goes in motion. They'll set up a screen to the near side, and it works well. Here's Whaley to the goal line. Touchdown Arkansas from 12 yards out. What a drive by the Hogs.
An impressive opening offensive possession. 2 entirely different styles. Ole Miss with the quick strike. They get in the end zone. Arkansas methodically moving the ball down the field, converting on 3rd downs, including a 3rd and long, which was the advantageous scenario that the Ole Miss defense was seeking. The protection held up, got the conversion, and then the screen game coming up big for the Razorbacks.
One after is up and good from Connor Limpert. How about that drive? Good answer. 13 plays, 70 yards, 6.5 minutes off the clock. The redshirt freshman quarterback, Cole Kelly, will get a touchdown pass on his ledger.
SEC Network Football is presented by Allstate, official protector of college football fans.
Walk of Champions on a day where the Hogs and the Rebels meet. 64th meeting between these two clubs. A little discrepancy on the season series. One says it's 35 wins for Arkansas. One says it's 34.
You give the edge to the home team, right? There's always an asterisk. Whoever's hosting, they get to use their record.
Jalen Jones out of the end zone. Oh, and he slips at the 27-yard line. Well, for the Rebels, this was a season that got started with a couple of wins, and then you mentioned in our open today, the Cal game is the one that kind of got them off the rails a little bit.
They expected to win that game. Started the season off very strongly, offensively, setting up records. Was Shea Patterson lighting up the scoreboard, and then at Cal, didn't play well in the second half. And they kind of got derailed. They lose 4 of the next 5, and in a season where they'd already dealt with so much turbulence in the preseason, I think that was one of those things where they just couldn't quite weather the storm. A chance to right the ship here today.
Jordan Wilkins on his first carry went 64 yards for a touchdown. This time Wilkins loses a yard. Dwayne Eugene, the first one there.
See the difference in those those drives. I mean, obviously Ole Miss comes out, lightning strike. Arkansas just thumped their way right down the field. After that run by Wilkins, he kind of limped off a little bit, had an injured ankle, was a little bit swollen after last week's contest.
Damu going down the far side, has a man, pass is caught. DeMarcus Lodge, the junior, with his 26th catch of the year, and it's a big one inside the 30, a 44-yard gain.
Now this wide receiving core for Ole Miss is lethal. We already saw Dawson Knox, who's contributing at tight end, but DeMarcus Lodge, one of the fastest receivers among the core.
Quickly to the line, over the middle, pass is caught. This one goes to Van Jefferson, who we didn't think would play, got hurt at practice on Thursday, and it wasn't until right before kickoff that he determined he was good to go, 26 yards.
Offensive coordinator Phil Longo said, look, we're not real happy. Van Jefferson was a big part of our game plan. He can play every wide receiver position for Ole Miss, already able to overcome that tweaked knee from the 2-minute drill.
From the 2-yard line, straight ahead handoff. Eric Swinney, touchdown, Ole Miss. How about Jordan Ta'amu? 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
He's pretty good throwing the football, doesn't he? And they talked about, look, this guy might be a little bit more of a runner. Patterson's more of a lateral guy, a creator. At quarterback, Ta'amu is going to go through his progressions, and if it's not there, he's going to get vertical and run the football. Hasn't had to do that so far. And Ole Miss quickly back on top.
Well, the big gainer, 44 yards, goes to DeMarcus Lodge. It kind of got this drive rolling, got their tempo going, and Ole Miss knows what to do with it from there. They answer the Arkansas touchdown and now lead it by 7. Well, this Ole Miss offense cranked it up. Arkansas does what they do. They eat up a lot of clock. They drive it down the field. They get a touchdown. Well, we knew coming in this could be exciting.
Well, I mean, both these defenses have been giving up a ton of points, a lot of yards. And so far, it's been run defense, of course, for both sides. But you look at these drives, the disparity being the number of plays they've required. Arkansas able to possess the football and move it down on a 13-play, 70-yard drive. Ole Miss still covering the same amount of ground, but just doing it much quicker. And of course, that's kind of in keeping with their 2 offensive styles. And so far, everybody kind of playing to form.
Le'Veon Warren. Oh, he is leveled at the 22-yard line. A 20-yard return. Big hit coming from Ole Miss from C.J. Moore.
Ole Miss defense, once again, this is another opportunity. You see Arkansas incredibly efficient on 3rd downs on their first drive, 3 for 3, converting on the short yardage 3rd downs, as well as a 3rd and long, 3rd and 9. See if the Rebel defense, if they can win on 1st and 2nd, can they capitalize and get the Razorback offense off the field?
Jordan Jones trying to turn the corner. He is flipped up by DeMarcus Gates. No gain. Don't forget, college football continues on the SEC Network with Vandy in South Carolina at 4 o'clock Eastern. Then at 7:30 on an SEC Saturday night at Tennessee and Kentucky. Both games also streaming live on the ESPN app. Jordan Jones flipped up in the air.
A big first down play by the Ole Miss defense to get Arkansas off schedule.
But they get right back on schedule. Out over the 30-yard line goes David Williams. He'll pick up 9. And now you're looking at 3rd and relatively short.
Right downhill. Right there on the inside of Ole Miss. An A-gap run straight downhill by David Williams. And now jumping the ball with some tempo.
Will play action. Trying to hit Austin Cantrell. A little bit behind him, and it's a 4th down situation.
Moving the pocket this time. They're getting Cole Kelly out of there off a play action fake, trying to get a high percentage throw. And it was the pressure by Haynes and Josiah Coatney getting upfield quickly to force Kelly on the errant pass. Cantrell incapable of corralling that one, and the tight end position really has been quiet throughout this season for Arkansas, and a big stop by the Rebel defense.
A.J. Brown back to return this punt. A short kick. That will hit at the 37. And out of bounds around the 33-yard line, a 36-yard kick. Well, the big fella couldn't get him going on that drive. Ole Miss up by 7 when we come back.
Who was the fly?
Boy, temperatures were in the low 30s when we got up this morning, headed to Vaught Hemingway Stadium, but it's warmed up nicely on a fall day. One guy that's enjoying it from the sidelines, so I don't know if he's enjoying it or not, this guy, Shea Patterson. He was your midseason MVP, and in a freak accident, a freak injury, he is out for the year with torn PCL.
And what a gutty performance Shea Patterson has had throughout this season, really, because most of the offense has hinged on his performance as a passer. And as we've already noted, one of the most prolific passers in the country, a non-contact injury. He went down and tried to fight through it, came back in the ballgame versus LSU. But he is now done for the year with that PCL injury to his knee. A dynamic playmaker, and so far, his backup, Jordan Ta'amu, enjoying a perfect game as a passer.
So on second down, Ole Miss split 3 receivers to the far side. Ta'amu over the middle. Pass is caught at the 40 and driving for a first down at the 45-yard line after a 12-yard pickup goes Octavius Cooley.
And Cooley, one of the tight ends, he was split out wide. And Ta'amu, they talked about him. He's very decisive, able to get that ball in there quickly. Ball's going to come out of his hands, and if it doesn't, he's going to be decisive and run.
Just the second catch for Cooley. They'll hand it off to Wilkins, who will pick up 6. Go down to Dawn.
Guys, keep an eye on Wilkins. He hopped on the training table before this last drive. They retaped that right ankle, also taped his left ankle. It's clearly bothering him.
Coming out here to the near side, that was dropped by Metcalf.
Metcalf was a guy that defensive coordinator Paul Rhodes at Arkansas said he was concerned about. He's an animal, 6'4", 225 pounds. A big drop on that one. You got to be able to make that reception, and he's thinking yards after the catch. Can I break a tackle and get upfield? Step 1 is secure the football.
Vaughn Finneman in the backfield. We'll work to the left side of Ta'amu at the New Mexico Military Academy. And that is exactly what they like about that junior college transfer as he takes it 49 yards.
That wasn't Ta'amu being decisive. That was it being pre-decided. It's a QB draw all the way. You could see Ole Miss offensively a little bit more deliberate on that play call, looking to the sidelines. Penniman comes in, gets a nice lead block. And they mentioned we'd see some more Q run game. Shea Patterson, as mobile as he is, minus 16 yards rushing. Now, a lot of that is sack yardage. But he's more of a scrambler. Ta'amu showing that he is a legit threat with the ball in his hands as a runner.
Well, he came out as the number 6 dual threat JC quarterback in the country, showing a little bit of that threat as he takes it to the end zone. Ole Miss has jumped out to a 21-7 advantage. Their scoring drives have been 31 seconds, a minute 5, and a minute 11.
And the challenge, if you're Arkansas, is this is a defense that's built on preventing the big play. They're not overly aggressive, but so far it hasn't been enough. Ole Miss still finding ways to pierce the Razorbacks, not only in the air, but a couple of big long runs from both the quarterback and the running back of Jordan Wilkins.
Luke Logan kicks it off short. At the 15-yard line is Warren. He's trying to get it to the outside, and he's knocked out of bounds. And with that, let's go back down to the sidelines, check in with Dawn.
Dave, I got to spend some time with Jordan Ta'amu this week, and he is very comfortable and confident. He was confident coming in his ability to run this offense. He said a lot of it had to do with because he split practice reps evenly with Shea Patterson, almost 50-50 all season long. Also pointed out that fourth quarter touchdown drive last week against LSU. He said he could build on that. He He has certainly done that so far. Also, I want to point out, he said his phone blew up this week with texts from his teammates, all encouraging him. He has felt supported in his first start.
Well, he has played well to get this one started for Ole Miss with 4:17 to go in the opening quarter. Now the redshirt freshman Cole Kelly, 6'7", 260-pounder, drops straight back, and the pocket collapses, and down goes Kelly. A loss of 5 on the play. Breland Speaks with his 4th sack of the season.
Well, Breland Speaks is a guy, they've moved outside, so here he is at a stand-up in position, and he's got such long arms. I mean, the guy's only 6'3". He's got arms like a 6'8" guy. And, you know, when you're matched up against a protecting back and a big body coming off the edge, that's a mismatch. That's not ideal, and you're going to see Arkansas, they're going to have to leave guys in protection. Speaks, though, once again, doing a great job of affecting the passer, and something that Ole Miss is committed to doing in obvious pass downs. They're going to bring the heat.
4-man rush. Kelly trying to slip it out of there, and he does to Devois Whaley, who will get it over the first down line, out at the 44-yard line. A gain of 16. Nice little play from Cole Kelly to keep it alive.
Well, you got to be a little industrious sometimes. And Cole Kelly, you know, Ole Miss is going to lay their ears back when they know you're in a pass mode. That time, did a great job finding the check down, just kind of flipping it forward to Whaley. Whaley getting his nose for the line to gain and got upfield quickly.
There goes T.J. Hammonds, who was a running back, moved to wide receiver at the beginning of the year, and now has an opportunity back at the running back spot. Flag comes in, but he picks up 8, his first carry today. Coaches said he had a great week of practice, and I'm surprised it took this long for him to get a carry today.
Yeah, a guy that they've been very excited about, you know, taking the place of Chase Hayden, a guy that kind of forced Hammond to move to receiver.
Personal foul, hands to the face on the defense, number 24. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run, automatic first down.
That's Taylor Polk, who's in there, is going to play a key role, as we mentioned, and you can see the hands to the face. You just can't do it. And you see that a lot, usually along the lines of scrimmage. Defensive lineman, offensive lineman, those hands get high. That time, Taylor Polk trying to make up from some of that size disadvantage he's got. Look at this shift.
Boy, look at this formation. They'll bunch it out to the wide side. Now they'll bring a player in motion and toss it to him, and a loss of 2 on the play. Gary Cross comes across the formation, and that didn't work.
We used to have something like this. They call it Star Wars. You've got some offensive linemen out here wide. See if you can't get the defense to overcompensate and generate a numbers advantage. And so if you look out wide, if there's not enough defenders, the quarterback will just stand up, flip it out over there towards the numbers. Basically, you're moving the line of scrimmage. Ole Miss did a great job adjusting.
Big hole for Devois Whaley. Boy, between the tackles, they have had some tremendous success running the football against the Rebels today.
You'd be surprised. I was surprised earlier on the 3rd down, a 3rd and short, why you wouldn't try an inside run, because it's something that Ole Miss has struggled throughout the season in stopping, and even in this game, Arkansas successfully running it.
Oh, Whaley fell down. He got the toss back to Whaley, who keeps his feet alive, and he may have enough for the first down. We'll see where the spot is.
What an effort by Devois Whaley here, and Cole Kelly for that matter. He might be down before he flips this ball back. Yeah, keep in mind we've got Zach Rogers in there at center. Frank Ragnow, he was out, and I'm surprised they're not looking at this play to see if Kelly was down before he flipped
it.
it.
They are. They're going to look at it. Arkansas trying to get it lined up and go, and Dan Enos on the far side.
Going on the field is a first down. That play is under review.
Dan Enos over there telling his guy, imploring them to hurry up. Didn't get the snap off in time.
Yeah, you can see it. Zach Rogers steps on Cole Kelly's right foot. You know, they're under center. We've mentioned the size of Kelly. That's 6'7", 265+ pounds. Zach Rogers looked like he stepped back and caught his foot. And, you know, because our booth is on the surface of the sun, it's kind of hard to tell. But it would appear, based on what we can tell, that his knee was down before he was able to flip it back to Whaley.
But now we got to reset the chains. Everybody moved. So now we got to reset the chains, get the proper spot. Should be right around the 27-yard line.
Well, the big screen's doing a great job of showing this replay. It's clear that Kelly is down, still has the ball. But I will say Whaley, not only nice concentration, taking that flip back, should have been a handoff, and then fought his way back to the line of scrimmage.
There's 1:26 on the clock. We got to get that timing right. Got to get the chain set. Got to get the ball placed. But we can pretty much figure this out, right? He falls down. That should be right at the 27-yard line.
Well, it was a 3rd and short anyway, and you're down 2 scores early.
After review, the quarterback was down at the 27-yard line. It will be 4th down.
You know, field goal kicking has been an adventure for Arkansas this year. It's early yet in this game, but I'm not surprised. I would be a little bit surprised, and we're going to see a field goal attempt here. But
yeah, it seems like touchdowns.
You know, touchdowns might come in handy on a 4th down. Of course, that was a big play, a big misstep, literally, for Arkansas on a 3rd and short.
Here's Connor Limpert, who was 4 out of 4 since he took over the kicking duties. His longest 48 against South Carolina. This from 45. It is no good. Plenty of juice. His towards was off, as we said.
Yeah, in golf and in field goal kicking, right? And you're sitting here going, Limpert getting in there and just pulled this one, lefty. And as we've mentioned, field goal place kicking in general for Arkansas throughout this season has not been a strength, that's for certain. And what a huge turn of events. You're looking at a new center, obviously, with Frank Ragnow, the standout, done for the year due to injury. And Zach Rogers effectively tackling his quarterback and force that field goal attempt.
1st and 10 for Ole Miss. They have scored in all 3 possessions, and it didn't take long to do so. They'll start from the 27-yard line. Handoff goes to Wilkins, who, even with that bad ankle, powers his way for 11 yards.
Wilkins has done a good job, I think, finding that backside cut. Really, he's just running straight downhill on a zone to the left, and he's finding room to the right of the offensive front.
Ta'amu swings it out to Wilkins. He'll stutter step his way to the 46-yard line. Ole Miss closing in on 300 yards of offense here in the 1st quarter.
And it's happened so quickly. You know, an incredibly efficient offense with these big plays. Wilkins on that play demonstrating just how versatile he is, a big component in the passing game for Ole Miss.
Eric Swinney in the backfield. They'll fake it to him. Ta'amu getting out of trouble. How about the footwork? 1st down and a whole lot more. 15-yard pickup.
Dwayne Eugene seemingly had Ta'amu's working on a run-pass option. He pulls that football. Nowhere to go with the ball downfield, and once again demonstrating how dangerous he can be with the ball in his hands as a runner.
Play fake it. Ta'amu coming near side. That pass is caught by DK Metcalf, a gain of 7.
Against Andre Tolliver, and you know, Arkansas, they've shown early on in the year, spent a lot of time in zone coverage. Versus Alabama, they spent a little bit more manned up. It's so difficult versus Ole Miss because of their strength. They've got a tremendous advantage with their size at wide receiver, but right now, both the ground game and the passing attack working for the Ole Miss Rebels, and they're piling up the yards versus Arkansas defensively.
Dave Neal, Matt Stinchcomb, Don Davenport with you on a warm afternoon here at Vaught-Hemingway Stadium. And if you missed the 1st quarter, you missed quite a bit of Ole Miss offense. 31 seconds on their opening possession. Went for a touchdown, 64 yards by Jordan Wilkins in 1:05 on their 2nd drive. 3rd drive went 1:11. Ta'amu, their quarterback, 49-yard touchdown run. That handoff goes to Eric Swinney. This offense has been clicking today. You know, this is a guy that, you know, is a quiet guy by nature, Jordan Ta'amu. Ole Miss knew that they needed a backup quarterback to Patterson, so they went the junior college route where they've had some great success before. On 3rd down and short. That handoff goes to Wilkins, who'll have the first down around the 25. So it wasn't necessarily a late get, but yet it was a guy that they felt they didn't have what they needed at the backup quarterback position, and they go the junior college route. And of course, I think we all know Chad Kelly was outstanding.
Well, you look at Chad Kelly, even Bo Wallace, you know, a guy who was able to lead Ole Miss to narrowly anyway, missing a chance to win a division championship. The JUCO quarterbacks have been nice from a plug-and-play standpoint.
Wilkins down.
You know, Ta'amu, a guy that they feel like was kind of a diamond in the rough. You know, a guy that came in here, a lot of people were talking about him. You see some of the names, even Randall Mackey coming into this program and able to contribute in big ways to this offense. Chad Kelly, prior to Shea Patterson taking over, was setting records as a passer.
Well, that throw behind his intended receiver, Van Jefferson. Lucky that didn't get picked. Andre Tolliver in on coverage.
Well, we've seen Arkansas a couple of times today either stop Ole Miss for no gain or create a negative yardage play. And here in the red zone fringe on a 3rd and 10 plus, you got to be careful because Ta'amu's already hurt you on a QB draw. I don't think we get that call here. If the pocket breaks down, you better get your eyes wheeled around if you're in coverage to stop a quarterback scramble.
Throws a seed that's caught by Markel Pack, who is back on the field. The senior's really been bothered by injuries this year. Glad to have him back in the lineup, just adding to the depth at that wide receiver position, but not enough for the first down, so it'll be a kicking situation for the Rebels.
You know, Pack is a guy that they were expecting to step up, especially if Van Jefferson was incapable of going, had that knee swell up in the 2-minute drill in practice on a Thursday. Pack, who's largely been hampered by injury as well.
37-yarder from one of the best in the business, Gary Wunderlich. He'll split the uprights. Been bothered by a bad hamstring, but looked healthy on that kick. 3 more on the board for the Rebels. They now lead at 24-7. Back to Oxford right after this. Boy, there have been some outstanding meetings between the Hogs and the Rebels. 2001, how about the 7 overtime game? An FBS record, 58-56. The Hogs win that one. 2012, Ole Miss wins at 30-27. Bryson Rose, 31-yard field goal as time expired. Then, boy, this is a painful one for Ole Miss, but certainly one that'll bring back some smiles to Hog fans. 53-52. How about the 4th down lateral that kept it alive? The 2-point conversion won it. And then last year, Arkansas wins at 34-30. Jared Cornelius had the go-ahead 6-yard run with just over 2 minutes to go. That game in 15 kept Ole Miss perhaps out of the SEC.
Yeah, that was brutal. A brutal loss, of course, for a team that's never found a way to win that division outright.
And speaking of 2015, here is that play that will live in infamy. I mean, so many things had to happen for that to work.
4th and 25. It's a blind lateral, just a heave, and the perfect bounce to the one guy who could convert it in Alex Collins. And then you muscle your way in there, not only for a score, but a 2-point conversion to win.
When you didn't have to do the 2-point conversion.
No, you could have kicked an extra point, but I think Arkansas at that point was like, hey, man, we were sold under a lucky star. Let's not let this pass. But a painful defeat for Ole Miss in that one for sure, because as you mentioned, a chance to win the division and compete for a championship.
David Williams moving it out to the 38-yard line. Picks up 3. Arkansas has to sustain some drives. This obviously is a game that's not going to sit at 24-7, and you need points.
You're right. You know, you get a stop in the red zone fringe, you force a field goal. That's a big quote-unquote stop, we're going to say, because so far the Ole Miss offense has been clicking on all cylinders. Arkansas needs to stage a drive, keep their defense off of the field and come away with points on this possession.
Kelly steps up in the pocket. Low throw intended for Jordan Jones. Now it's third down. Miles Hartsfield, sophomore corner, in on that coverage.
You know, the difficulty I think that Arkansas will find is that they're not going to be able to get many receivers out in the route in an attempt to keep the pocket clean. It was a nice pocket there, but the difficulty is Arkansas's receivers, they don't scare Ole Miss defensively. At the corner position in their secondary, they're not scared to man up versus these receivers who struggle to get off press coverage and have difficulty creating separation.
Nance goes in motion. Kelly throws as he hits the turf. Incomplete, looking for the tight end, C.J. O'Grady. Pressure came from Vreeland Speaks.
You know, Kelly, that time he's trying to manage the pocket and step up, keep his eyes downfield. Speaks ultimately able to come in there and crash down late. Doesn't get what he wants on that throw. You almost wonder, as Kelly, as big as he is, if he doesn't just tuck it and run it, maybe get that conversion.
A.J. Brown at the 19. And he'll run out of bounds at the 35-yard line. A big pile up there. I don't see a flag as of yet. Let's hope everybody gets up. 12:01 to go, second quarter. Rebels lead at 24-7. Back to Vaught Hemingway in a moment.
SEC Network Football is brought to you by Cooper Tire. Count on Cooper, an American company since 1914.
Last night, over at the Pavilion, Ole Miss hosted their second dunk or treat event. You and I were happen to be a part of that. Get a look at the, how about DC Davis, over the top. I gave him a 10. They said give a number 1 through 10. And obviously, you and our boy Steve from Rebel Nation.
We couldn't find a hyphen. They said 1 through 10. They didn't say which. You didn't say you had to choose one. So we chose 1 all the way to 10.
Follow directions. That's all I'm saying. But it was a fun night. Boy, there are some outstanding athletes that Andy Kennedy has on his basketball team. This could be a fun group to watch here in 2017-18.
DC Davis dunked over a 6'8" guy right there. That's pretty impressive.
They'll swing it out to Penniman near side. And, of course, we capped it off with a nice night down on the square at Boo-Ray, Kyle Campbell, Ole Miss, showing us the way.
Glad I brought elastic pants. had my Eaton pants on.
I didn't know you were wearing elastic pants last night. You didn't point that out.
It was a hidden expandable waistband.
On second down, pass is caught. There goes DK Metcalf turning the corner. They'll mark him out of bounds around the 36-yard line.
And this is what Arkansas was concerned about. DK Metcalf, he had a drop earlier in the game, but this is what he was looking to do. It's the yards after the catch. It's an easy throw. It's a quick pitch and catch. Can you get him down at 6'4", 225 with speed? This is the son of a former All-American offensive lineman.
To Amu, spins out of trouble, throws it up in the air. A.J. Brown brings it down inside the 10-yard line. That's just what he does.
Now that was kind of shades of Shea Patterson that time. Tamu didn't like what he had in the pocket, scrambles out, shows some of that escapability, but kept his eyes downfield and hit the #1 receiver in the SEC in A.J. Brown.
First in receiving yards, first in touchdowns. To Amu will add another touchdown to his stat ledger. His second today, that one from 8 yards out. His first one went 49.
I think they found a good backup to Shea Patterson. I mean, he has looked more than comfortable on this stage. They talked about the confidence that they were able to gain by the field goal right before halftime versus LSU. Patterson comes back in. Tamu has to finish the game, leads a drive for a touchdown late versus LSU. You think those are trash minutes or throwaway points? They aren't. You're able to build on your confidence from drives like that, and you're able to get a strong performance.
Boy, if you're Arkansas, you got to find something right now because you have not been able to stop this Ole Miss offense. It is now 31-7.
And defensively, where's the answer? You got to have to find a way to make a tackle in open field. Metcalf able to turn and run. And then A.J. Brown, and this is the difficulty, is that even when the receivers are covered, they're open because of their size and length. Give them a chance. Ta'amu's done an excellent job in both phases of the game. A dual threat, no question about it. He's thrown the football well. He managed the pocket on the scramble drill and then showed his ability to run the football yet again on a keeper. And Ta'amu, they talked about how stoic he's been, kind of a hang-loose guy. Phil Longo, the offensive coordinator, first year here at Ole Miss, mentioned he was very excited to see how his offense would look with Ta'amu. You see those two guys side by side. They got a pretty good rapport. And so far, Ta'amu making it happen every way that you can offensively for Ole Miss.
You know, it doesn't hurt when you've got the receiving core that is as big, as fast, as strong as this group. They are just simply amazing athletes.
I mean, the biggest concern would be if Andy Kennedy were to come over here and draft them to play basketball. Because you look at the length that they have, obviously tapping out with DK Metcalf at 6'4", but that size across the board. It's physical. That's a big catch radius that as a quarterback, you're able to get the ball close, give your receiver a chance to fight for the football, and makes it that much more difficult to defend on the other side.
TJ Hammond's at running back. Little stutter step, big hole, and a big run. He's out over the 40 to the 42-yard line. Gain of 17 for TJ.
And a concern or a question that they had would be, you know, TJ Hammond's a guy who spent some time at receivers. He willing to run amongst the big bodies. You know, you look at out there on the perimeter. Let's see how you run in a crowd. That time, good job by Arkansas up front, opening up yet another hole right in the middle, right in the A-gap. Hammonds did a good job of getting downfield quickly.
They'll hand it to him again, and this time he is swallowed up. That play went nowhere in a hurry. A loss of 4 on the play. Markel Winters making the play.
We got the rankings coming up this week. Everybody's going to have eyes on it. The college football playoff, the first setup as far as who the top teams are, and you've got some undefeateds potentially getting it.
Second down. Call it 13 for the Hogs. Cole Kelly, 4 out of 7, 42 yards, trying to set up a screen, and that one was read very well by Ole Miss.
You know, on the first drive, Arkansas was going to attempt 4 passes. They were able to complete a couple of them. The other 2, Kelly ended up getting tackled, and it was the screen game that got him into the end zone, something that Arkansas has done very well. Ole Miss has been keyed in on that element of the Arkansas offense. That time did a good job, Josiah Coatney, in forcing Arkansas into a scenario they did not want to find themselves in. They converted a 3rd and long earlier. The 10+ is disadvantageous.
Kelly, good clean pocket all day to throw, but will dump it underneath. The pass is caught, but well shy of the first down. Only 4 yards, and here comes the punting unit.
DeMarcus Gates is the heart and soul of the Ole Miss defense. The guy's had to fight through injury. He's got shoulder harnesses on both arms. And right now, 4 tackles already in this game, 1 tackle for loss. This has been the 3rd year where he's led that defensive unit in tackles, a guy that they needed to make big plays for.
Blake Johnson to punt it away. A.J. Brown with the fair catch. Well, Matt Luke trying to get his team back into the win column, and he is fired up, been fired up all week. (31-7) our score here at Vaught-Hemingway Stadium. Rebels out in front. Home folks enjoying the early kickoff today. guy who's not enjoying it so much. Brett Bielema on the far side, the Iowa graduate from 1992, his 5th year at Arkansas, 27-31. I think a lot of people focus on that SEC record, 10-26, and they have started 0-4 this year. And look, I mean, you're paid to win ball games. You pay a lot of money to win ball games, and it just hasn't gone their way this year. In this first half, he's got to find somebody to get his guys going out there.
Yeah, and that's the hard part, right? Is who's going to be that lightning rod, the catalyst for you on the football field. So many of their leaders and best players, they're now in the tuck. They're in the training room with season-ending injuries.
Marcus Lodge with that reception.
But on the other side of that is look, that's an invitation for the rest of your team.
Right.
It's just, and both of these programs have been decimated by injury in very similar ways. They have kind of similar challenges. So you find out just how good your programs really are in moments like this.
Nice grab by the tight end, Octavius Cooley. Still on his feet down to the 32-yard line. He dropped the football, and Arkansas may have it. Cooley trying to spin for more yards, lost the football, and the Hogs get a break. Let's see what they can do with it.
When you talk about something's got to happen, you got to step up. You know, Cooley, they get that ball in the other hand. He's carrying it in his right hand there. The ball comes out. Great job by Santos Ramirez, a guy that has stepped up as a leader for Arkansas. And he generates probably the most important play that we've seen in this game for the Razorbacks since that opening offensive possession. And then actually made the recovery. What a great play by the safety at Arkansas. You talk about something that needs to get a sideline going, and you can see that guy slapping him on his shoulder pads. Now can the offense stage a drive and stay on the football field to come away with points?
Now their first drive went 70 yards, 6.5 minutes off the clock, and they got a touchdown. Their 5 drives since then have amounted 50 yards, 55 yards, 3 punts, and a missed field goal.
That's something that they have to find a way to stay on the field. We're talking about the points, right? You got to get that as well, but it's not just, hey, offense. We want to get on the scoreboard. It's our defense. They finally got the ball back to you. We've only got one other quote-unquote stop, forcing a field goal. You got to capitalize on this possession.
Second down. Let's call it 6.5. Williams, he's out to the 39-yard line. Be a couple of yards shy.
And this is what I anticipated Arkansas trying. Now the difficulty is the score's gotten away with them so quickly, but last week LSU had a ton of success running off tackle. They had a ton of success running a lot of places versus Ole Miss, but specifically when you add that extra surface, you get a couple of tight ends in there and you attack those C and D gaps. The gaps between the tackle and the tight end and outside, and allowing your runner to get downhill. Great job that time to set up a 3rd and short, a chance where Arkansas can convert.
Cole Kelly, the big fella, will cut it back and have the first down.
Same thing. That time, though, in the Q run game. Get a puller outside. You got angles where you get a couple of down blocks, and Cole Kelly's able to just get it outside the tackle. You'll see the bunch formation to the right. You get a couple of pin blocks, and you pull your tackle and Brian Wallace to be your lead blocker and let your 6'7", 260-pound running back in this instance fall forward for the first down.
TJ Hammonds will fake it to him. Kelly rolling near side. That pass is caught. Austin Cantrell into Ole Miss territory at the 48. Give him 9 yards.
Cantrell's a guy that they've been trying to get going at. Same with C.J. O'Grady. You know, a strong tradition at the tight end spot for Arkansas historically. Haven't really been able to get that position going. They tried earlier on, but that's a big first down gain, a second and anything. Pick something out of your playbook. This is an opportunity for the Arkansas offense in plus territory. Just don't lose yardage and set up a 3rd and unmanageable, but a chance to take a shot here.
They'll hand it off. There goes T.J. Hammonds. Hammonds to the 30. Stays on his feet to the 26. There has been a bright spot for Arkansas. 22 yards for T.J. Hammonds, the sophomore out of Little Rock, who came in with just 22 touches in a year and a half.
Well, once again, he does a great job. Just nice burst. Gets downhill quickly to the right side of the Arkansas front. And they're just zone blocking up front. Fantastic job of creating some lateral movement, covering up the defenders, and allowing your running back to get to the line of scrimmage clean and just try to show that second level burst to run away from the linebackers.
They'll go again with TJ, and he'll get it to the 20-yard line, 6 more yards. This is a guy that, as a freshman, rushed 15 times for 88 yards. High school senior, had 1,400 yards on the ground. Also had 27 receptions for 660 yards, scored a combined 28 touchdowns. So obviously he's got a pretty good skill set.
A guy that they want to utilize it too, right? I mean, and the fact of the matter is, the coaches said, look, Chase Hayden was so good that's why you hadn't seen T.J. Hammonds getting touches in the ground game. Well, Hayden's unavailable. Injury takes him out of the lineup entirely. T.J. Hammonds now having to step in and fill that void.
Kelly dumps it off underneath. That goes to Cantrell again. He'll pick up 4, and that should be good enough for the Arkansas first down.
You like the play selection. You know, you get a nice toss. It's a play action. You boot out Kelly, let him throw on the run. Gives him a chance to stay away from any pressure, any upfield pressure from the Ole Miss front. And right now, starting to click again, a drive reminiscent of the first offensive possession. And Dan Enos able to get into a little bit of a rhythm and a chance for Arkansas to capitalize on the forced fumble by Ramirez.
2 tight end look, single setback. They'll go with Williams. Been a tough week for Dan Enos, the offensive coordinator, now in his 3rd year at Arkansas. Lost his father this past week, and boy, we got a chance to talk to him, and you could just tell that he was just so proud of what his dad meant. Guy played minor league baseball, semi-pro football. He played adult league hockey. He was a Golden Gloves boxer, was still hitting the big bag and the heavy bag just a few years ago. You know, I mean, it's just, he said the one thing about his dad, he said, actually 2 things. He said, my dad was a beast, and he never said no.
Yeah, whenever they wanted to go play catch, they want to go out in the yard, he was out there with his boys, and you can tell obviously a very tough week for the offensive coordinator at Arkansas.
And a whistle will stop that play.
You see Coach Bielema, he was working his way towards the line judge, and right as the ball was snapped.
Timeout, Arkansas. First charge timeout.
Snuck a timeout in there. Scoring opportunity for Arkansas. They want to make sure they get it right.
All right, coming up, SEC Halftime Report. Gene Chizik, Chris Doering, and I will talk Florida, Georgia, and also some interesting comments about Jim McElwain's future down in Gainesville. But how about that first half? You called it, Coach.
Explosive offense. The quarterback is on fire, and they're running the football.
How about 8 receivers already involved here in the first half? You know I like that, PB.
More points? We'll see. Back to David Stinch.
Well, you know, you look at the records, guys, and you're thinking, scratching your head, I wonder what we're going to get. But Stinch kept telling me, dude, there's going to be some offense here.
Yeah, I called it too. So I also thought that might happen. We got a couple of Gators on the set. Coach Chizik and Chris Doering. A couple of Florida Gators there. Yeah. Coach Chiz, linebacker for the Gators.
Loss of a yard. Gates coming up to make another play. That's 6 tackles behind the line. Make that 7 by Ole Miss. Gates already has 7 tackles.
You see Gates, once again, does a great job. This time he's on the end of the line. He's going to be able to get up quickly, beating the block of Colton Jackson right now, coming out of a timeout. And Gates is a guy that they love. They'll move him around, doesn't just play off the line inside. They'll line him up at the end of the line of scrimmage. Great play by the leading tackler of Ole Miss.
3rd down. Pressure comes. Kelly, pump fakes, has the first down and touchdown. And he got rocked right at the goal line. A 15-yard scramble Cedric Woods came over to put the hit on the big quarterback that goes 6'7", 268. He needed every inch and every pound.
And does he get in as he gets to the goal line? Ruled a touchdown on the field. Ran right through the tackle of Taylor Polk. And look at that shot that he takes. Cedric Woods. It's an appropriate last name. He brought the wood. Bam. Right there at the goal line. Tough to tell from that look. First angle was a pretty good look at it. And they're going to kick this point after, it looks like.
Well, they had their offense on the field.
You're right, yeah. They ruled it a touchdown on the field, as we mentioned. And
I think Coach Bielema's on the field. He wants to try to get the ball moved,
no question,
to a different hash. Now there's all kinds of confusion. Now it's official time. Everybody just kind of wandering around.
Really on the field is a touchdown. Either try for point.
Yeah, they're saying that, as mentioned, we're just going to go ahead and roll with it. Great job by Cole Kelly that time, getting upfield. A couple other opportunities in this game, we could have done that. That was a big decision for Arkansas.
Point after is up and good. Boy, that fumble recovery got a little spark, little juice on the sideline. Now Cole Kelly with a great run, tough run, gets him in the end zone. See if that's a little bit of a spark that they need. 10 plays, 70 yards, 5:44 off the clock.
Balanced offensive possession off of this forced fumble and recovery by the leader of the defense, Santos Ramirez. Didn't give up on that play. And then Cole Kelly in the offense moving the ball down the field, and the big fella, Steamboat, chugging his way into the end zone of Ole Miss. Kind of appropriate. Mighty Mississippi. And the Steamboat able to get in there. Cole Kelly, a guy that they're not going to win this game, Cole Kelly throwing the football, especially given the turnover that they've had at wide receiver. Coming into the season, they knew that. As you see Coach Bielema heated discussion with the officials on the sideline after his team was finally able to get its second score of the game.
I wonder what he is so hot about. Is he talking maybe that there was a targeting opportunity on that touchdown?
He's a runner. You're a runner right there.
Yeah,
there's nothing, Cole Kelly's not defenseless right here. He's a runner.
I'm just throwing the question out because that was obviously an animated discussion.
Look, let's pretend, so defenseless, crown of the helmet, there's no intent there. Certainly there was it forcible contact? You better believe it.
Almost run plays, there is forcible contact, right? That kickoff taken by Jones. He'll be stopped at the 20-yard line. 17-yard return. Don't forget, 7 o'clock Eastern on Monday night. Thinking Out Loud, Greg McElroy, Marcus Spears. Also available streaming live on the ESPN app. Of course, you can participate through social media, call-ins. That'll be coming up Monday night, 7 o'clock Eastern time right here on the SEC Network. Well, 2:40 on the clock, which is almost enough time for Ole Miss to score twice. Their scoring drives have been 31 seconds, 105, 111, 110. Fumbled on their last possession. Tamu. That one, should have been picked off. Randy Ramsey kind of slid back in coverage and had both hands on the football.
Well, it's been a clean game for Tamu. Almost changed on this throw, because you're right, Randy Ramsey dropping underneath this route. Cameron Curl in coverage, the true freshman, on DeMarcus Lodge. And Ole Miss lucky to escape and maintain possession.
Tamu, 11 of 14, 212 yards. Boy, he's got some running room. First down and slides at the 35-yard line. 12 more yards on the ground.
Opportunistic, and now Ole Miss is going to jump this football and get into their tempo offense. So their judge tripping up, trying to get out of there quickly.
Arkansas bringing some pressure. Tamu's pass is caught. That'll be shy of the first down. It goes to Dawson Knox, a gain of 8.
That was a nice blitz pickup and a tight window. Tight coverage that time. Dawson Knox, and they talked about their big tight end. He might have some of the best hands on their football team. That is high praise with this receiving corps.
Tamu coming to him again, the former high school quarterback with a stiff arm. Santos Ramirez runs him out of bounds. That'll stop the clock. 1:49 to go before halftime.
Yeah, we talked about DeMarcus Lodge earlier, the speed that he has. It was interesting. Miles Hartfield, when we were talking with him, cornerback for Ole Miss, said DeMarcus Lodge loves to block. Threw a key block that time to allow Knox to get upfield.
Take it to Wilkins. Tamu with a sidearm toss, and that'll be incomplete.
Josh Liddell coming over. He actually made the catch out of bounds, fighting Dawson Knox for that football. A couple of tight coverage windows that time on consecutive throws here in this possession. Tamu pressure in his face. Bijan Jackson able to get upfield quickly. Tamu flushing out of that pocket. You see Liddell came up with that football.
Pressure comes. Pass caught. Van Jefferson will have it right at the first down line. 11 yards. Honore Tolliver on the coverage, but move the chains.
That time a sure tackle by Honore Tolliver. Something that Paul Rhodes talked about. You let him catch, complete, and tackle, but keep him in front of you. Earlier we saw where DK Metcalf able to break a tackle along that boundary and get off a big run.
Tamu, and that one is picked off at the 25-yard line. DeAndre Coley still on his feet, cuts it back, and he'll be dropped at the 22-yard line. Back-to-back turnovers for Ole Miss has put Arkansas in position here with 1:08 to go before halftime.
Well, you talked about what the spark is. Arkansas's offense able to capitalize on it, and Tamu doing a great job. And Josh Liddell, who did a great job earlier, coming up with a pick but was out of bounds, and this time able to get the interception, get upfield quickly, and sets his offense up with a short field there in the red zone on the 20-yard line, and Arkansas with another chance to get it in the end zone. And it's Tamu that we mentioned, the pressure. McTelvin Agim, a guy that they've been waiting to step up. He's able to win, get pressure late. Tamu was pressured often on that offensive possession. Bad decision, threw into traffic, and Liddell made him pay.
Liddell, not Coley with that interception, and here is Kelly going to the corner of the end zone into double coverage, and wisely throws it out of bounds. Coming up at halftime, you can watch the live performance of the Rebels' Pride of the South Band on SEC Network Plus. Start streaming now on the ESPN app. Well, this completely changed the dynamic here with a touchdown.
You're not kidding. I mean, there's no news here, right? You've got a minute, short football field. You got to be smart here, of course. You want to come away with the touchdown. But there's also some clock management considerations that you want to have as well. You want to leave time. Obviously, Ole Miss, if this takes a second, if they want to preserve some time here in the first half. Back-to-back turnovers, maybe not.
Kelly is dropped back at the 23-yard line. Breland Speaks.
Speaks ends up with this sack, but the pressure was created right off of the edge. They flush Speaks, Kelly up into the pocket. Speaks awaiting the Arkansas quarterback. A chance to get a first down, obviously here. Only 30 seconds left on the clock now for Arkansas. After that sack, clock kept running.
22 sacks on the year now allowed by this Arkansas offensive line. Third down. The pressure comes. Kelly throws wide open. Deion Stewart to the end zone. Touchdown, Arkansas. 13 seconds on the clock. That goes 23 yards. And we got ourselves a ball game again.
Coming into this game, Arkansas had generated 10 turnovers. Defensively, it's not a strength. They've been hemorrhaging yards. They were going to, yet again, seemingly on a forced fumble, got the ball back. Then you get an interception and a huge return by Liddell, able to get pressure on Tom, who was the difference on defense for Arkansas. You set your offense up with a short field, and on back-to-back takeaways, the Razorbacks now with 14 points off of turnovers in this game and have clawed their way back into contention.
Inside handoff down to the 14 goes Whaley. Let's go down to Dawn.
Well, guys, Arkansas has been outscored 144-71 in the second half of games this season. Brett Bielema pointed that out to his team. He said it's time to come and play for the second half of a game. He pointed out the last 2 offensive possessions were scores. Last 2 defensive possessions were scores. They need to carry that momentum in, and it's all because guys are making plays.
Yeah, he changed things up at practice this week, try to get his guys refocused, like blow the whistle and pretend it's halftime at practice. The focus on the first few plays. So far, so good. Whaley tripped up there.
Yeah, I mean, when you're practicing halftime, things are not going well. But, maybe it has worked because this is a heck of a way to open up that second half. You start and talk to these coaches. It's your opening possession, starting fast. It's also your first possession of the second half. You mentioned Whaley kind of slipping down, got tripped up in the hole. Set up at third and medium. There's a chance, though, if he keeps his footing, he either converts or makes it a third and short.
David Williams in it, running back. Kelly throws. Pass is caught by Nance. Let's see where the forward progress is. Around the 9. And if so, that should be good enough for the first down. It is.
Nice protection because Ole Miss brought pressure from the edge. You watch David Williams cross all the way. Look at that read to make it all the way outside. Nice pickup that time. Keep your quarterback clean. The pickup on A.J. Moore and Kelly with more than enough time. Marquise Haynes, an excellent pass rusher. Not the best cover guy and an opportunity to get it to your playmaker.
Whaley, nowhere to run. Ole Miss just blew that one up, a loss of 3.
Chase down from behind, and you see Arkansas once again adding to that surface on the right side of their offensive front, trying to get the ball outside, pulling linemen, and trying to have an escort to the line of scrimmage. The way you can defend that, not only at the point of attack, but tracing down that runner from behind, and a good job of backside pursuit by Ole Miss.
Second down and goal now from outside the 10-yard line. Kelly dumps it underneath. Second catch of the day for Nance. He'll pick up 3 back to the original line of scrimmage. Zedrick Woods with the stop.
Zedrick Woods, he's the one that had that big hit on Cole Kelly when he was able to scramble his way into the end zone. Looked like maybe Kelly got up a little bit wobbly. That time in coverage, Woods at his safety position, a guy that they've mentioned in this game, if Arkansas got run heavy, would spend time in the box. As it is, a third and goal for Arkansas here.
Kelly trying to set up the screen. They do so. It goes to C.J. O'Grady. Touchdown, Arkansas. His second touchdown of the year.
And you can't start it any better than that in the second half. And we mentioned how important the screen game is to Arkansas and how well they execute. We've seen Ole Miss. They've defended the screen a couple times well in this game. The first score was off a screen to Whaley. This time to C.J. O'Grady. Nice patience. Nice blocking out in front to get the tight end into the end zone.
Well, how about 21 straight on the board for Arkansas? 8 plays, 73 yards, 4:13 off the clock. Oh, Kelly now 12 of 17, 115 and 3 touchdown passes. Time to take a look at 31-28 our score, as Ole Miss has just allowed this Arkansas team to get the energy, get that life, get the enthusiasm back on the bench, because for a quarter and a half there was nothing over there.
No, there really wasn't anything to speak of. We're up here talking about what do you play for and who's going to be the guy to get it ignited. A couple of turnovers and then an opening drive.
Bobbled in the end zone, and Jalen Jones is going to try to bring it out, and he stopped at the 4, and everything is going Arkansas's way now. And it started with some defense late in the second quarter as our belt playing with style.
Well, Santos Ramirez was the guy that got it going. He rakes the football out, then recovers it. The offense does a good job getting it downfield and score, and then the defense sets him up with a short field off of a pick. Cole Kelly capitalizing on that offensive possession, and then get right downfield here in the opening possession of the second half. And Arkansas, after taking their opening possession, marching it right down the field and then doing effectively nothing until those turnovers, is right back into this game. It's a field goal margin right now at 31-28.
Last 3 drives for Arkansas, 21 plays, 164 yards, and 3 touchdowns. High snap, handoff. Goes to Wilkins. He'll take it out over the 10 to the 12-yard line. Gain of 8. So what's happened to Ole Miss? I mean, obviously they've turned the football over, but I mean, how do they get some of that juice back?
Well, it wasn't like they weren't moving the football. And it comes down to not only ball security with it in your hands, because that was a big gainer on the fumble.
Boy, and that one almost went right over the head of Jordan Ta'amu. TJ Smith will get credit for the tackle.
We got a centered up nose tackle on a guy who hadn't had a ton of time at center in Jordan Sims. And whenever you got a nose tackle that's right over your hat, right over your nose at center, that's a difficult proposition in general. And then that shotgun snap sometimes gets a little bit errant. Threw the timing off of that play entirely.
Third down. A.J. Brown goes in motion. Wilkins. He got it out over the 15, which will give him a first down.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like much, but when you need an answer in the second half, and 21 unanswered by your opponent offensively, you can't give the ball back right there on a 3rd and short. You get a bad snap, you got to muscle your way to continue this possession, if nothing else, to swing the momentum back your way.
Deep down the middle. Pass is caught. Metcalf still on his feet and tripped up at the 47-yard line. 38 more yards.
Off the play action, and Metcalf over there working on his own. Nice fake, head and shoulders. Had to wait on this ball. Andre Tolliver, he's got his hands full. And when he's singled up over there versus that big body, hard to bring him down after the catch.
Little shoulder fake. Ta'amu will take it himself, and he'll pick up about 4.
That QB draw game, it's important. I mean, you don't think much about it, but you're thinking, I'm going to pin my ears back. If I see this quarterback and he doesn't hand the ball off, I'm going to try to get upfield. Well, that can be dangerous. You get past even with the passer, it's not just a scramble that time, and we've seen it twice now in this game. It's a designed run. You get your quarterback right up into the heart of a defense. Forces them to play it honest in their pass rush lanes.
Jordan Wilkins, who's up over 100 yards now, picks up 3. He's got 105 yards on the ground. Of course, his first carry today, 64 yards for a touchdown.
Most of his runs today have been on the backside of where the point of attack is. And it just speaks to the comfort level he's been able to establish with more touches for the feel of the game. And so far in this one, he's been able to find some of these backdoor holes to pick up positive yardage.
On 3rd down, some pressure comes. Ta'amu gets it away and batted out of there by Andre Tolliver.
That's just well defended by Andre Tolliver. Fans don't like it. They're saying it was too physical, too much contact underneath this throw. And DK Metcalf, we mentioned, yeah, he's a big target, man coverage. They're hand fighting down the field. What it is, they're saying that left hand was on the right shoulder pad of DK Metcalf. Couldn't jump and try to high point that football. Lots of contact. That was certainly a physical route from both perspectives.
First punt of the day for Ole Miss. Will Gleason. Andre Tolliver back around the 10-yard line for Arkansas, but a flag comes in, and that'll be the delay of game violation, and back him up 5 yards.
On the kicking team, number 94. 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
Gleason averaging 42 yards a kick this season. Had a great game against LSU, averaged 49 per punt against the Tigers. A season-long 56-yarder as well in the game last weekend. Over in kick, will hit it to 5. And well done. So Arkansas has scored 21 straight points. They'll have the football when we come back. (31-28) our score. Arkansas has used a little defense to propel them offensively. And you look at what has happened here in their last 3 drives. 164 yards, 21 points. What's changed?
I think a lot of it is field position, because you look right at that last possession of the first half, you're playing on a 20-yard football field because of an excellent return off an interception. Then you come out here in the third quarter, halfway decent return on a shorter kick, but then the very first play out of the gate, you get a nice run and you're in plus territory. Gives you a little bit of breathing room offensively, but you're cutting the field in half, you're cutting the field into quarters. I think when you're able to do that, when a big play sets you up, whether it's by your defense or your first offensive snap, gives you a chance to get in scoring position.
Hand it off on first down. That'll go to David Williams. Williams will pick up 4.
The biggest thing, though, right now is, and why it was so important to get back into this game, is that now you're back into your comfort zone from a play calling standpoint. Are you comfortable just sitting back and trying to throw your way back into this game? And because the defense was able to generate those turnovers, you get a short field. We've really only seen 3 drives, really 2 of them where they've had to do it. One was off of a turnover, the other was the opening possession.
Williams, not a whole lot happening there. DeMarcus Gates with his 9th tackle. Now it's 3rd down and let's call it 4.5, 5 yards.
And you're looking at, the absence of Frank Ragnow in that previous run is really, really felt. You're talking about lack of movement on an inside run. You got a double team between your center and guard, and there just wasn't much there. You got to keep in mind this Razorback offensive front. We've seen 8 different starters, and their best player has been lost for the season at center.
Kelly keeps it, and he'll have enough for the first down. Just enough. Dante Evans tripped him up.
Once again, though, finding running room right there at the edges, the tackle box, the tackle areas. That's where Ole Miss has struggled, to be able to set the edge, hold the point right there. And when you've got a big body, we've seen it twice in this game, where Cole Kelly, he's not a guy that's going to scramble great for you, but if he gets his shoulders squared up to the line of scrimmage and is downhill, that's an imposing proposition for any defender to try to make that tackle.
They're actually going to bring the change out. Take a look at this one. Oh, with that 6'7" frame, he had enough to pick up the first down, but we'll find out for sure here.
Yeah, he got it easy.
See, if he was 6'3", he might not have gotten it, though.
That's right, huh? That big old 6'7" joker. And he's one of those guys where, he's taking some shots. And it's been tough sledding for him. He had to come in versus South Carolina. We did that game. Yeah. And then you knew on the back end of that, you're going to face one of the top defenses, if not the top defense in the country in Alabama. Then you got to face Auburn. That's not easy, especially when you know you're going to be on the short end probably offensively.
Yeah, your first 2 starts. First one's at Alabama, second one's at home against Auburn. Welcome to the league.
Yeah. build out those box scores, kid.
First down and 10 out of the I formation. Williams, your tailback. They'll fake it to him. Pocket quickly collapses, but they'll get the pass off underneath. Not a whole lot there for Deion Stewart. Give him about 4 when it's all said and done. Javian Hamilton chases him out of bounds.
A pass, but a good first down play. Able to pick up 3+ yards on first down. If you can get 4, that's a big success on any series of downs. Now you got second down. You can do some things if you like. We've seen already in this game where Arkansas, they found ways to convert third and longs. They want to keep it third and short. The QB run game has come up big in those situations.
Williams, 9 yards on that carry, another first down, right at the 30-yard line. Tripped up by C.J. Hampton.
Well, they're going to try to crash the line of scrimmage as Ole Miss, and watch Yelda Froholt get a nice bump and then secure the A-gap. Actually, they're running a twist there inside, and they stunt. Ole Miss does right out of that gap. Opens up that opportunity. You know, defenses, they can create penetration, they can create confusion. But if you pick it up and you just cover them up, you don't even need movement because they're moving themselves, then you've got a big hole.
Trying to set up the screen again. It works again. It's Williams. Down to the 40. Boy, the screen game has been a good friend to Arkansas. 31 yards.
Back-to-back plays for Yelda Froholt at his left guard spot. Able to get released out in front and lays a crushing block out in front. Set up the run earlier. Shows nice patience, and that's the biggest thing, to sell a screen. Look at that shot by 51.
Man.
He hit that guy like a former D tackle.
Here's T.J. Hammonds. He'll take it to the 35-yard line. Let's go down to Dawn.
Well, Dave Stinch, you guys talking about Yelda Froholt getting it done on the field, also getting it done off the field. He's the guy that stepped into those shoes left by Frank Ragnow since he is out for the season. Coach Kurt Anderson, O-line coach, told me that he had this group in early on Sunday all week long. They stayed late, a lot of extra film work. He has been the guy that has been vocal to help fill in for Frank Ragnow, and I've seen it here on the sideline. That first half when they were struggling, he was livid.
Well, he came to Arkansas as a defensive lineman, as Stinch alluded to a moment ago, and made the switch to the O-line, and I think that's worked out well for everybody. T.J. Hammonds out of bounds. Run out of bounds by D.D. Bowie.
You see Cole Kelly sprinting over there to plead a case for T.J. Hammonds. Thought that was a late hit out of bounds. And Hammonds had a ton of touches, more than he's had the balance of this year, though. 7 rushes, 55 yards. That's a pretty sporty average he's got right there at 8 yards a carry. But again, a third and medium. We saw earlier, able to get a conversion with Cole Kelly keeping it off tackle.
Kelly dives forward. This is going to be close. I don't think he's going to be at the first down line. He's at the 30. They needed to get it just a touch inside the 29. So now you're looking at 4th and about a yard.
It was DeMarcus Gates again. There's not many times where these linebackers are giving up 50 and 60 pounds when they're tackling on a quarterback draw. But you can see Arkansas plus territory. We already mentioned their difficulties they've had in place kicking. This would definitely be on the fringe of their comfort level with Connor Limper.
A lot of big boys on the field now for Arkansas. They'll line up in the eye. Williams, your tailback. Kelly tried to fake like he dropped the football. They were trying to sneak a receiver out. The tight end, Jeremy Patton. Ole Miss wasn't buying it.
You know, it's 4th and short. You're facing a defense that struggled to stop a run. You've got size, new faces on the offensive front, and you get a little too cute right here. You're too clever by half. Looks like he's dribbling the ball. And he got caught up with it late, and a big stop for the Ole Miss defense. Did I mention that Cole Kelly's 6'7", 260? I'd go right here with this football. I'd never hand it off. And even if I did, I'm not doing this. I'm not dribbling it backwards, my back to the line of scrimmage. And you're trying to get an easy one on a 4th down. Convert it, maintain that possession, because you got Ole Miss on their heels.
Now they get a pass caught to A.J. Brown, who breaks a tackle to midfield. 20 yards just like that.
Huge stop by the Ole Miss defense. And now you've got a 50-yard field going the other direction and an opportunity for Ole Miss to re-seize control of this football game.
Kamu taken down at the 42-yard line. A loss of 8. Bijan Jackson with the sack, his first of the year.
I was talking about Bijan Jackson before this game, and he's just kind of been a guy. They say he's been consistent, hasn't made any flash plays. Well, in this game, number 78 has been able to win inside. And part of that's owing, I think, to a new face at center in Jordan Sims. He's been able to collapse the pocket.
3-man rush. They'll swing it out to Wilkins. And Jordan breaks a couple of tackles, still on his feet. First down inside the 35. Boy, if you're Arkansas, you just can't miss those tackles.
You got to be sick if you're Paul Rhodes, a guy, the defensive coordinator for Arkansas, who takes so much pride in the fundamentals. You got 5 defenders right there, and you can't get Jordan Wilkins down. Take nothing away from Wilkins and his effort, but if you're Arkansas, you've got to get the receiver in this instance down on the ground.
Tamu to the corner, in the air, incomplete. They were trying to hit DeMarcus Lodge. Cameron Curl, the true freshman, in on the coverage. Another PBU for Cameron Curl, tied for the team lead in that department with Henry Tolliver.
You know, Ryan Pulley was a guy that went down early for Arkansas. They liked him a lot in the defensive secondary. And Cameron Curl is a true freshman. I think he's going to be a really good player for Arkansas down the road. That was excellent coverage that time with Lodge. We talk about Tamu giving his receivers a chance. We've seen a couple times, though, you can't put the ball in jeopardy.
Boy, Van Jefferson with a nice acrobatic catch, and he'll take it to the 25, a gain of 9. Let's go down to Dawn.
Stinch, you mentioned Ryan Pulley. He is still a big part of this team, even though he is done for this season. He actually texts Cameron Curl before every game and after every game. Talked to Cameron before this one. He said he hadn't gotten the text yet, but he said usually it's something like, go play great, nothing specific.
Well, it's working. Kid's playing pretty good right now. You can keep it generic, I guess. Curl did a great job, singled up on one of the better receivers for Ole Miss.
There's an injury on the field. We'll step aside. 19 seconds to go before the end of the third quarter. Kevin Richardson, the injured Arkansas player, being attended to by the staff. Try to get an update on him as soon as we can. Meanwhile, 19 seconds to go. And Ole Miss has certainly captured some of the momentum away from Arkansas after the 4th down stop.
Got big bodies right here. That's Durante Bolden right there in the offensive backfield.
On 3rd and short, they'll go with Swinney. And that'll be good enough for the first down.
Let's get both those blocking backs to lead straight downhill. It's just that simple. I mean, and if you're Arkansas, you're sitting there going, hey, we could have done that. And right now, Ole Miss has got a chance to not only off of that stop, but they're knocking on the door to get their first score of the second half.
Well, might have some fireworks in the 4th quarter. 31-28 our tally, 15 more minutes, if not more, coming up from Oxford.
Us. It might not have been you, but I can't just be proud of what makes your country.
Hey, nothing like a little Luke Bryan as we head to the fourth quarter, 31-28. We expected to have a good one here. Two teams struggling, but two teams that were a lot alike. First down and 10 for Ole Miss. They're driving in a three-point contest. And really the difference in this with a missed field goal. Connor Limpert missed from 45 yards back in the first half. Otherwise, he'd be all squared up here.
It's hard to imagine the way Ole Miss kind of raced out to that lead, and Arkansas has stayed in this football game and fought their way back onto the scoreboard.
Tamu keeps it himself and hit as he throws. Randy Ramsey putting the pressure on the junior quarterback.
You know, Randy Ramsey was a guy that Arkansas was counting on being kind of a difference maker. You know, they made the transition to 3-4, didn't necessarily have all the personnel that they needed for that. And Ramsey was a guy, kind of a long guy, played with range. This game he's already got 4 tackles and a tackle for loss.
Third down now. To the end zone, nobody home. Looking for Lodge. Cameron Curl in coverage for Arkansas. And now you're looking at a fourth down. Let's see what Ole Miss is going to do. They're going to bring out one of the best foots in all of college football, and Gary Wonderlick.
You know, Wonderlick's a guy, we talk about the difference in this game. It's already been based on the margin now. You got a 3-point lead is the difference in place kicking. Arkansas has been able to get it to a field goal. Now Ole Miss a chance to extend that lead.
36-yarder. He has hit from 37. Good clean snap. Kick it on the way. And as usual, that one splits the upright. Wonderlick now on the year, 9 out of 9.
The College Football Playoff Top 25 Ranking Show. Tuesday at 7 on ESPN. Presented by Allstate.
Well, I'll tell you what, it is getting that time. And don't forget on Tuesday, College Football Playoff rankings will come out. And you can expect to see, depending on what happens, of course, today with Georgia. They got Florida in just a little while. But you can expect Georgia and Alabama to be in that mix.
Georgia's got a lot of wood to chop. So does Alabama. You know, both of those teams that sit atop the SEC standings that are undefeated, their toughest tests are in front of them still. Now, Alabama's going to play LSU, who's trying to kind of seemingly figured it out of a bye week. They haven't played Auburn yet. And obviously, Georgia's got division games yet to play. South Carolina, Kentucky, got to play Auburn, got to play Georgia Tech.
I was going to say, that's a game that nobody really talks about on the Georgia schedule, but Georgia Tech has gotten Georgia 2 of the last 3 years.
Yeah, Tech's got Clemson today. It'll be interesting to see how much success option football has versus that athletic defensive front, rather, of Clemson.
Ward on a nice pickup, looked like a shortstop. He is still on his feet to midfield, and they will spot him out of bounds. They're going to spot him back at the 46 of Arkansas, but what a return from the electrifying Devion Warren, 45 yards.
We came into this game expecting the return game to be exciting, and Devion Warren does a great job of delivering on that expectation. Taking it all the way from the opposite corner and getting that left field return. Showing excellent speeds, a lot of excitement from the equipment staff. Devion Warren makes it over there to the sideline, and excellent field position for his offense.
34-28. 14-13 to go in this one. Handoff goes to Devil Whaley. He'll get a yard. College football continues right here on the SEC Network. Vandy, South Carolina, 4 o'clock Eastern. Then at 7:30 tonight, it's Tennessee and Kentucky in our SEC Saturday night game. Both those also streaming live on the ESPN app. Tennessee has won 31 of the last 32 meetings with Kentucky. But are they going to be able to score some offensive points?
Yeah, you know, no John Kelly, who has been the lone bright spot offensively for Tennessee all year. And, you know, Jarrett Garantano, he took a beating last week versus Alabama. You wonder if he's fully intact physically and mentally for this contest.
High throw, but pass is caught by Jonathan Nance, who is getting some more work today. He's struggled the last couple of games. Coaches kind of called him out in our meetings that they need more out of him.
Yeah, Dan Enos was pretty plain about it. You got to catch it when we throw it to you. And he's had some drops. You know, that time, if he gets a better throw, Miles Hartfield fell in coverage. Nance might have caught and ran with it. But you could see Coach Enos does a good job. He's done a good job here in the second half of getting Nance some touches. There's not a lot of explosive playmakers in this offense, but Nance is one of them. We saw him earlier in this half with a touch in the ground game as well.
Arkansas, a blistering 9 out of 14 on third down conversions. Little shovel pass underneath. That one goes to Austin Cantrell. Boy, he did a nice job avoiding what would have been a loss on the play.
DeMarcus Gates coming up from his linebacking position, and Cantrell, you know, he's sensed it. We've seen a lot of hurdles this year. That's just option football. Looks like he had a chance to pitch it outside as well. Whaley was well in front. Shovel pass underneath, and nice athleticism by Cantrell. And, you know, we mentioned the tight ends haven't been as involved for Arkansas offensively this year. They're starting to figure more prominently here in this game.
C.J. O'Grady's been involved. We've seen Cantrell involved. They tried to also get one to Jeremy Patton earlier. Kelly stumbles. And he'll be dropped. Loses the football. Cantrell tried to pick it up. That didn't work. Ole Miss trying to pick it up, but still loose. They're going to say Ole Miss will have it. And the Rebels might be a little fortunate.
Wow. Ole Miss possessed this football? Ole Miss never, I don't see Ole Miss ever possessing that football. They should have. And Austin Cantrell ended up with it ultimately. You see the great pressure, and the ball just gets punched right out. Josiah Cody was down on it. A chance to recover by DeMarcus Gates. Miles Hartfield is celebrating, and Cantrell ends up with this football.
Did Gates have possession? Well, I mean,
no.
They're going to rule him down, though. So the play's over there if the whistle blew.
I guess they're saying he possessed it for a moment. His knee was down. Boy, it was bang, bang. It happened really quickly.
But if the whistle blew, right? I mean, how can you overturn if the play's dead and you said it signaled him down? Whether Cantrell fell on it or not becomes irrelevant. If the
if he's down, he's down.
Right.
The ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by Ole Miss. That play is under review.
All right, well, I mean, we can look at it a few more times. And
it was Marquise Haynes that tomahawked that ball out of there, just punched it right out of the hands of Cole Kelly. And you know, the ruling was that Gates possesses it here. He goes down. Wow. Really hard to see it from that angle. That previous look was probably the best look at it. And they're saying DeMarcus Gates possessed the football and then immediately was down. You see him, he's got it. He's down, his elbow is down. And then the ball comes out. You know what? I would rule that a catch if it were a pass. I think that is a possessed football. Man, did it happen quickly. It looked like he went to recover it and just rolled and it flipped out of his hands.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. First down.
Well, credit the officials on the field for getting it right the first time, but also it's an important play in this game.
Huge.
All turnovers are, but it's certainly in a game this tight. But they got the call correct on the field, and it certainly didn't look like Ole Miss ever possessed that football. You see Cole Kelly, he's had some difficulty from a ball security standpoint so far this season. He's had 4 fumbles, third one that he's lost.
Kamu spins, throws. Back shoulder throw, caught at the 11-yard line. Metcalf again stepping up 31 yards.
The size wins. You know, this ball's well underthrown. You get pressure, Tamu just spins out of it. And he just turns around and gives his receiver a chance. It's been dangerous a couple of different times. If Tolliver's aware the ball's in the air, that might have gone the other direction.
Tamu keeps it, slides down around the 6-yard line. He'll pick up 5. Tamu, by the way, today, 19 of 28, 358 through the air. He does have an interception. He has also rushed the ball 8 times for 84 yards.
He's also a quick learner. He took a shot last week versus LSU. He slid a couple of times in this game, and wisely so.
Well, the backup plan at quarterback from here on out for Ole Miss, a little sketchy. Jason Pellerman was a tight end. They moved back to quarterback this week. Here's Wilkins driving inside the 5. Wilkins up over 100 yards.
This is a play. You know, they're pretty simple as Ole Miss, especially in the ground game. And it's just a counter trey. A lot of offenses that call that play. You pull your backside guard and tackle and just get physical at the point of attack. And Jordan Wilkins has proven to be a hard runner to bring down. And Ole Miss is going to get big, bringing some size in there.
From the 4-yard line. They can get a first down inside the 2. Boy, A.J. Brown coming near side. Handoff goes to Wilkins. He'll get a yard, so now it's 4th down. What is Matt Luke thinking here?
He's going to send Mr. Legg out on the field. He passed the test earlier, right? Did Gary Wonderlick?
37 of 36. Good today for Mr. Wonderlick. On the year, he's 11 out of 14. He has been dead solid perfect inside of 40 yards this year. This one from 20, and he just hammers it through the upright. So Mr. Legg, as you refer to him, has been perfect today.
I thought it was quicker than to say Wonderlick.
Time for our AT&T Field Pass down in Columbia. It's Kyle Shermer. Well, South Carolina's won their last 8 matchups against Vandy, and Kyle's trying to change that. 14 touchdowns on the season. That game comes up right after this one in Oxford, boys.
Much, and we still got plenty of football to go here. 9:52. Ole Miss has stretched this out to a 9-point game. There's just been kind of this series always seems like crazy things happen in this series.
It was breaking bad for Arkansas in this one, whereas it's been better. You know, Kelly falling down. That was early in the first half, and then the strange 4th down call on a 4th and short, and then a fumble in the pocket. It looked as if Ole Miss never secured the recovery, but the officiating crew on the ground, as did the replay booth, confirmed that Ole Miss did in fact possess that football before Austin Cantrell fell on it. And Ole Miss was able to convert that into a field goal to stretch their lead to 9 points.
Luke Logan, short kick, little pooch kick. That'll be taken around the 30-yard line, and that's it. So Arkansas's offense looked like they were moving pretty well before that turnover a moment ago. An injured Arkansas player, or Ole Miss player, right at the 30-yard line.
Yeah, that was a pretty violent collision, as there often are on kickoffs. Short kick, because obviously we saw pretty strong return earlier by Arkansas, and Ole Miss is not looking to forfeit that yardage again.
We'll come back to Oxford in just a moment. Stay with us. Armani Linton was the injured Ole Miss player, and you can see kind of favoring that left side, that left arm. It was a big collision. Jake Hall caught the short kickoff for Arkansas, 6'5", 265, and here's the collision.
Yeah, I think it ended up looked like a left shoulder injury, especially the way he walked off the football field. I wonder if that shoulder didn't come out. That's why I've had that happen a time or two. You don't want to move. You want somebody to put that joint back where it belongs. I don't know if that's ultimately what it was, but training staff did a good job attending to him.
Down 9, Arkansas, first down and 10. Big hole off the right side. TJ Hammond's another big chunk of grass here at Vaught Hemingway Stadium. 23 yards for the sophomore.
Nice blocking up front. Backside pull. You get Zach Rogers pulling from his center position. And TJ Hammond showing some of that burst. This is what they need from that running back spot, especially if they're going to keep the ball on the ground. It's only 9-point margin with 9.5 minutes to play. Absolutely, you stay in your offense. On the previous possession, they got the ball almost at midfield. And once again, the Arkansas offense able to play on Ole Miss's half.
Will end around, and a missed tackle allows Deion Stewart to pick up a couple of yards. He'll get 2 on that. Let's go down to Dawn.
Hey guys, Stinch, you were right on Linton. They were looking at his left shoulder. He kept pointing to that shoulder and then working down that left arm. He kept moving those fingertips. So that's exactly where he was hit.
Yeah, you know, you get a stinger, especially when you get a shot right there, and that arm will go numb for a little while. Scary to be sure, but hopefully nothing serious.
By the way, TJ Hammond's today, running back, 8 carries, 79 yards. Here's Williams. He'll fake it to him, and Kelly will keep it and bulldoze his way inside the 40. 6 more yards. Marquise Haynes able to make that tackle. The senior out of Jacksonville, Florida.
He's been a consistent performer for Ole Miss. We were meeting with defensive coordinator Wesley McGriff, and you know, he's the top of a lot of the record books here at Ole Miss. Record holder for career tackles for loss, for sacks. And a guy that they need to step up in big moments like this one, when your opponent's on your half of the football field in a 3rd down. Arkansas has been very good for most of the afternoon.
We'll go with Williams. He has the first down. It could have had a whole lot more, but he ran right into his own offensive lineman. Looked like that was Wallace, number 60. That was the roadblock.
Marquise Haynes was blowing up field that time, and Williams came right up underneath the playmaker for Ole Miss. And you know, Williams has been a great stopgap in a lot of ways. And I don't mean that to diminish his contributions, but the coaches say, look, he's just good at everything. He's not great at any one thing, and there, a solid run to convert the chains.
TJ Hammond's back in the game, single setback. Working the left side for TJ. He'll get a yard. Josiah Coatney led the way defensively for Ole Miss. I tell you, this Arkansas team is running pretty well today. They've put up 226 yards on the ground. We kind of expected that coming in, the way Ole Miss was trending.
You know, Ole Miss has struggled mightily in the ground game, but some would say, oh, you got some pretty legit run offenses coming into this game. Arkansas was only averaging 160 yards on the ground. And we saw early on, it would seem like Arkansas would be taken out of that element of their offense completely because of the scoreboard, but the turnovers and the quick scores allowing Arkansas to remain balanced.
Kelly hit as he throws, passes dropped out of bounds. Jonathan Nance, the intended target. Haynes again, just kind of forcing a throw a little quicker than Kelly wanted to throw it.
You know, they've had so many new faces for Arkansas up front. Their offensive line. You know, Brian Wallace is a guy who's a heralded recruit, but he's kind of an inline mauler. He's not great in space. So in pass protection, he's compromised. Almost anyone is versus Marquise Haynes. He's got tremendous burst upfield, and this is when they rock and roll. Here's Haynes right here, coming off of the edge. They got a tight end to that side.
Incomplete. Trying to hit Jonathan Nance, and now it's 4th down, and you're kind of in that no man's land.
You know, we saw this in the first quarter, and we're looking at Arkansas. They allowed a couple of quick scores. As you see Haynes once again forcing Kelly to step up into the pocket. There was a nice pocket to step into, just nowhere to throw to. Nice coverage. In the backfield, Miles Hartfield did a great job of contesting that catch, and a 4th and long.
Another 4th down opportunity for Arkansas. on the year. They came into this game 7 out of 10 on 4th down. High throw, and it's picked off. Ole Miss will have the football. 1st down and 10, just inside their 30-yard line.
Well, a lot going on after that turnover. Yelda Froholt came over on the cover down. There's flags on the field. It's gotten chippy at times in this game. We mentioned this is an emotional matchup. This rivalry in the recent games, it hadn't gone the way they'd like. You see Matt Luke in there trying to get control of the emotions of his players.
After the play was over, we have offsetting unsportsmanlike conduct fouls. Dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct on Arkansas, number 74. Unsportsmanlike conduct on Ole Miss, number 38. That is each player's first unsportsmanlike conduct foul of the game. 1st down.
Well, Javian Hamilton had the interception. There are a couple of people down. There's a member of the chain gang is down. There's just a lot going on right now. 6:08 to play. We'll try to sort all this out when we come back.
SEC Network Football is presented by Allstate, official protector of college football fans.
Well, Ole Miss will have the football, but a lot was going on that last interception. It was 4th down and about 9. Javian Hamilton steps up to make the interception, and boy, did he get lit up on the sideline.
Well, it's a great play, and you see Yelda Froholt. We mentioned he's a converted defensive tackle. He comes over and blows Javian Hamilton up on the boundary. This is what they teach you, though. You get an interception, get to the sideline, and big number 51 said, look, I'm going to cover down on this thing. And Hamilton not only going down, looks like he's favoring his right shoulder as he left the field, but also one of the members of the chain crew down there got caught up in the fray. But a huge turnover on a 4th down play by the Ole Miss defense.
Loose football, Arkansas scoops it up, heading to the end zone. Kevin Richardson with the pick off the floor and the touchdown. That's how you get right back in it.
Well, that beats a 4th down conversion. You know, we've seen Arkansas in this half on a couple of 4th downs, and it hadn't worked out. And this is just a bad mesh. You see there, Tamu looked like he was intending to give it to Eric Swinney. Swinney never secured that football. It ends up on the ground. And what a huge turn of events.
Kevin Richardson was hurt earlier in this game. Comes back in, gets the scoop and score from 22 yards out.
You can see right there, and you know, Swinney, I don't know if he gave him a good pocket. I don't know if he gave his quarterback a good pocket to place this football, because when you're running any type of a read in the offensive backfield, the back has to come to the football. The quarterback does not take the ball to him. You're not looking at the handoff if you're the quarterback. You're looking to read the defensive front. Well, I'm not so sure. I'm not sure Swinney gave him a clean pocket to put this football in. You see right here? Nah, he's plenty high with it. And that's just a bad exchange.
Wow,
you got a couple of guys. You know, Swinney doesn't have a ton of carries on the year. You got a backup quarterback. Wow. Obviously with a starter now at quarterback, and a huge turnover. That's been the story of this game, Dave. I mean, you're talking about at the half. 2 touchdowns off of turnovers, and now 3, one directly by your defense. 21 points can be directly attributable to the play of this Arkansas defense.
Boy, points off turnovers today, 21 for Arkansas. Ole Miss has a field goal off a turnover. And now there's a little bit more juice on that Arkansas sideline in a 2-point game. Jones drops it again. The second time he's done that today, and he'll be wrapped up inside the 15-yard line. Coming up next, 4 o'clock Eastern time, Vandy and South Carolina. Then at 7:30, how about a little Tennessee, Kentucky on our SEC Saturday night game? We still have plenty of time here, 5:55 to go. It looked like Ole Miss was going to just have a walk in the park today.
Well, right when you think, and it's happened a couple of times, right, where it seems like the momentum has swung solidly to the Ole Miss sideline, and then a turnover occurs and gets Arkansas right back into the game.
It was 31-7 at one point today. Quick hitter to Van Jefferson. He'll pick up 10 yards. Randy Ramsey pushes him out of bounds.
You know, Van Jefferson, a guy that we didn't even know we'd get a chance to see in this game. A big part of this offense, one of their leading receivers from a season ago. They lost Stringfellow, they lost Adeboyo. Obviously, Evan Ingram, 3 of their top receivers from a year.
They'll go with Wilkins, working the right side, and he is thrown to the turf. Pickup of 3, Ramsey and Greenlaw there.
We haven't mentioned Greenlaw's name very often for the Arkansas defense. Only 2 tackles on the afternoon. In this offensive possession, they're looking to slow down Ole Miss. 5 minutes yet to play, a 1-possession ball game, and a chance to get the ball back to your offense.
Not much room up the middle for Jordan Wilkins. TJ Smith. Austin Capps. Now it's 3rd down.
We've seen Tamu a couple of times now in this game where either a receiver will make a play for him or it'll be an ill-advised throw. Obviously, we saw one there in the first half. It cost him. And this is an obvious passing down for him. And keep in mind, a mobile quarterback, Arkansas showing blitz pressure from the right side of the Ole Miss front.
Some pressure. Batted down, incomplete. 4th down coming up, and Arkansas has done their job defensively.
We mentioned Dre Greenlaw's name, and now Santos Ramirez with this pass breakup. And you see Tamu kind of drifting in that pocket. I don't like that very much. Takes that snap, drifts left hard, and then tries to get it back to the right side of the formation to Dawson Knox, and Ramirez was right underneath it to knock that ball down.
Good Ole Miss roll inside the 25-yard line. Take a look at our All-State. All hands in.
Well, it's been the hands coming off of the football for the Ole Miss offensive players, and Arkansas finding ways to capitalize on them. In the first half, there were turnovers that set up the Razorback offense with opportunities to score, one of them on a 20-yard field. And then here in the fourth quarter with Ole Miss gets a big stop off a pick, and they fumble it right back on a bad exchange. Kevin Richardson, one of the leaders of that Razorback defense, able to scoop and score for a defensive touchdown for the Razorbacks. You look at the turnovers, and they have been the story of the game.
They'll swing it out to Nance. He cuts it back and will pick up about 6 yards on the play before he's brought down by A.J. Moore.
And now if you're Arkansas, we've seen them stage drives, 3 minutes and 44 seconds. Plenty of time. You've got your full complement of timeouts. There is no hurry-up mode. You've got your offense available to you. Can you sustain a drive, keep it manageable from a down and distance, and stay out of obvious passing downs?
Whaley almost broke through. Hartsfield hanging on. Trips him up, gain of 8.
Shoestring tackle by Miles Hartfield. Because you said it, Dave, Whaley is inches away from breaking that run. He hadn't been healthy a lot this year. A guy that they've been counting on, obviously lost Raleigh Williams, retired. Devon Whaley has been slowed by injury mostly this season, hasn't really been able to round into form.
TJ Hammond's in the backfield. TJ out over the 40-yard line, gain of 6, and let's check in with Dawn.
Guys, officially injury report for junior cornerback Javion Hamilton is out with a head injury. He's still in the locker room, and they still are evaluating.
Thanks, Dawn. I mean, both these teams are running thin on bodies. They have been decimated by injuries.
It's been a relatively clean game injury-wise until here in the second half, and then a spate of injuries here late in this game.
Second down. Stay on the ground, and TJ Hammond's tripped up, loss of a yard. Gates now with 13 tackles, a couple behind the line, a pressure, a fumble recovery. Now up to 70 tackles on the year.
DeMarcus Gates was walked up into the line of scrimmage, and Arkansas was bringing Austin Cantrell across the formation. Gates just comes underneath that block and was able to trip up the ball carrier. It'd be a big tackle once again from their leading tackle.
Kelly all day to throw. Underneath, passes caught, first down. C.J. O'Grady picks up 8.
Well, sorry, Dave. All day to throw was right. That's a great observation. That was important, to say the least. Kelly, shown some resilience in this game. He's had some difficulty, though. He's had some pressure. Obviously, some bad decisions at times. But that time, a clean pocket, decisive with the throw.
On first down, will throw to the wide side of the field, and that pass is caught, gain of 5. That one goes to Deion Stewart. Zedrick Woods knocks him out of bounds.
Zedrick Woods isn't scared to bring the hammer down from his safety position, but right now, we've seen this a couple times in this game where Arkansas seems to settle into a little bit of a rhythm. They get a gateway first down, and they're able to start opening up their playbook. If they can stay on schedule, obviously a big first down play right here allows you to do a little bit more creative things with your second down play and plus territory.
Pressure comes. Kelly stands in the pocket. He'll just sail that one out of bounds.
They brought the blitz, and DeMarcus Gates fell kind of right at the feet of Cole Kelly. But he had a little bit more time. Sometimes it's just enough when those defenders are following all around the feet of your quarterback.
3rd down and 4 coming up. More pressure from Ole Miss. Kelly trying to catch him in the blitz, and he can't hit his target, Jordan Jones. Now it's 4th down, and you got 1:05 to play.
And another Ole Miss defender injured on the play. We talked about Ole Miss. They're not scared to bring pressure. They blitz on 40% of the dropbacks that defense has faced. That time they brought 2 blitzers right up the middle. Jalen Jones from his safety position. He was the guy that was shaken up on that play. He's kind of favoring that left arm. Another potential shoulder injury there. Holding that left arm down a little bit. DeMarcus Gates and Jalen Jones blitz right up the middle, attacking the A-gaps of Arkansas, and affected the throw from Cole Kelly. And a huge 4th down at midfield, and another chance for the Razorbacks to convert.
4th and 4. 1:05 to play in regulation. Kelly dumps it off underneath, and there's a flag. Miles Hartsfield dragged Nance down to the turf before the ball got there.
Well, there's all kinds of ways to get conversions, and that includes pass interference calls.
Pass interference on the defense, number 15. The ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
Great job by Cole Kelly managing this pocket, because there was traffic yet again. And you see Nance. There's bang bang, and they're getting Hartfield on that left hand. Hard to see from that angle, but it seemed apparent that he clearly had that left arm wrapped around Nance. By the way, the body of the receiver was affected. A huge conversion for Arkansas to extend this drive.
Kelly trying to set up the screen to Williams. He cuts it back. Williams to the 30, down to the 25-yard line. But a flag back at the 47. Hold on a minute.
Holding on the offense, number 60. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay first down.
And this is what's so frustrating about this is it's a screen pass. And so that ball's coming out, but it's Brian Wallace. And we mentioned, you know, he's kind of an inline guy. He bails out of his pass set early because of Marquise Haynes' get off. Number 38 has tremendous get off. He's able to get upfield quickly. Brian Wallace has to bail out of his pass set on a screen and backs up the Razorback offense.
Wobbly pass, caught at the 32. Nance breaks a tackle. He's brought down around the 33-yard line. Hartsfield brings him down, but a pickup of 19.
I mean, right when you think that Arkansas has dug themselves a hole, and then they get right back out of it with the long completion. Nice protection again. That time a high throw. And we mentioned Zedrick Woods bringing the hammer. That time he just needed to tackle after a catch. Comes in and goes for the kill shot. Hartsfield able to finally wrap up Nance. But we mentioned earlier, you know, look, it's a 2-point game right now. We've already got one missed field goal. We're right here on the edge of his comfort zone for that.
Well, they're trying to break that streak here today for Coach Bielema. By the way, if you're wondering, Connor Limpert, long is 48 this year. Hit that against South Carolina. Got the job really in week 3. Cole Hedlund was 0 for 2 against TCU and hasn't kicked since. Connor has missed from 45 today. Had plenty of leg.
Zedrick Woods is the injured Ole Miss defender. We've mentioned his name several times, and as you just pointed out, Dave, that miss obviously looms large because it actually happened early in the first half, but also, you know, here you are, it's 28 seconds to play. A field goal wins this game. Got a chance to convert right here. You got 2 timeouts to play with, but it's no gimme, especially where you are right now where the ball is currently spotted. You've got plays to run. But Arkansas, for them to be comfortable with this situation on a place kick, they're going to want to pick up some positive yardage here. It's not like you can just get it close. You want to get it as close as possible with their history of place kicking this season.
Well, the target line for Coach Bielema and to get his kicker in makeable position was the 30, and they are just outside the 30-yard line now. It is 2nd down and short. They need about a yard for the first down.
It's 28 seconds. You get the first down. They'll reset the chains.
Not charged with the timeout.
So the clock stopped for the injury. And Arkansas wanted to take a timeout there, but because of the injury, they will not be charged.
Matt Luke being briefed by the officials here. I mean, you can't overstate. Off a screen pass, you get a holding call, you back yourself up. What a huge completion by Nance, a guy that they have questioned. As we talked about earlier, Dan Enos, was there trust there for Nance? Well, he's had some difficulty securing catches that made it their way to number 7, a guy that had kind of emerged as a go-to position at wide receiver, and they've hemorrhaged some players there.
Yeah, you've got some injuries in the secondary. Kendarius Webster didn't dress today, a groin injury. So not a lot of bodies in the secondary. Cole Kelly will run it. He'll have the first down to the 25. He'll pick up 6. That'll stop for a moment. 23 seconds on the clock.
As you can see, and you see Cole Kelly resetting the formation, bringing his wide receivers in tight.
Williams cuts it to the outside, to the 20. He'll fall down around the 15-yard line, and Coach Bielema wants a timeout. 4 seconds to play.
Yeah, I probably misspoke earlier. I didn't mean to call David Williams a stopgap. There's too many negative connotations for that. Nice bounce run by number 33. A transfer, played at South Carolina. Kind of had a new opportunity, new birth for Arkansas. We talk about they needed to pick up some positive yardage. You get the conversion, plus another 6 yards from your quarterback, and then Williams to get well within your comfort zone at this point.
They've added 3 seconds back on the clock. Now 7 seconds to play in this, when the ball will be on the far hash. Remember a few weeks ago we were talking to Coach Bielema, asking the question in our meeting, how do you feel about your kicking game? And it was dead silence, an awkward silence.
Yeah, we had to think about it.
But Connor Limpert has come in. He's missed today, but he was 4 out of 4 prior to today. Missed from 45. And he'll have a chance to send Arkansas home a winner, perhaps, if he can split the uprights. The Hogs have yet to win a conference game this year. This will be from 34 yards out.
Ole Miss, got a big guy right here, Breland Speaks. See if you can't elevate and tip this kick.
Ole Miss will take a timeout. This is just one of those games. Both these teams struggling. Obviously, it's last week a tough loss for Ole Miss here at home against LSU, and Arkansas, they have yet to win the conference game, as we mentioned, and you said at the top of the show, Ole Miss knew their hands were kind of tied behind their back going into this season, but Arkansas didn't expect to be in this spot.
No, I mean, everybody was saying Arkansas, hey, we got the conference's leading passer coming back in Austin Allen. We've got a playmaker in Raleigh Williams. They lost him early, obviously. They could kind of try to engineer around that, but there was a chance for Arkansas with a kind of a transition to a new defense. They're probably going to finish in the middle of the pack in that West Division. Hadn't been the case, and you have to credit the Razorbacks in this game. So much adversity, the mentality they've had, the edge that they've been able to keep to even get to this point to perhaps win on a walk-off field goal.
The sophomore out of Allen, Texas, will try to win it from 34 yards out. But he'll have to wait to do it because Matt Luke taking another timeout.
Well, it's one of those where you say, hey, don't leave all your good shots on the range, right? A couple of timeouts, let him swing through the football. You want that mentality to stay the same, that mechanism to stay the same, the snap, the hold, the clean kick. Ole Miss has got one more timeout. And this is the one where you almost say, look, I've let him see the freeze twice. I could freeze him one more time. Why do it? Let him expect the freeze and have to swing through it when it counts.
Well, we have had plenty of offense in this game. Both teams have been up and down the field. The result, 37-35 tally at this point. Well, if nothing else, Connor Limpert has shown that he can make this.
Yeah, he's proven it to himself, if anybody was wondering.
But another timeout taken by Ole Miss.
You almost wonder, like, maybe a leg fatigue becomes a concern.
We've had over 1,000 yards of offense today. Ole Miss has thrown for 368. Arkansas has rushed for 260.
You know, Arkansas knew it was going to be a tough slate of games. They had a lot of guys they had to replace. You know, South Carolina, the turnover game went the other direction. Cost them a win on the road that they needed to secure. The last couple of weeks haven't been surprises. This game has been the gateway game so many times for Arkansas under Brett Bielema.
Well, this one will be for real. 34 yards out. And it's good. Arkansas will take the lead, but there is a flag down.
Flag. Offside on the defense. That penalty is declined. Field goal is good.
38-37 lead for the Hogs with 4 seconds to play.
Connor Limpert got a lot of looks at it, that's for sure. He gave him 3 mulligans. He didn't need any of them. Hit every swing he had at that one. And at one point in time this season, field goals were nightmares for Arkansas. This time it was a beautiful sight for that Razorback sideline in a game that looked like it got away with it from them so early versus Ole Miss.
A 4th down pass interference call against Ole Miss kept the drive alive. They would go 12 plays, 62 yards, 4 minutes off the clock, and they leave Ole Miss with 4 seconds, and you can just see the dejected look on the interim head coach, Matt Luke, who has just really been so positive with his guys week in, week out with each challenge, but this one will be hard to swallow when you led 31-7.
It's unbelievable. And you look at the turnovers, Arkansas able to capitalize on those, but also some missed opportunities for Ole Miss here in the second half where you've got chances to put the ball in the end zone again. They couldn't do it a single time here in the second half. Kicking field goals, and Arkansas was able to chip away, hang in there, and ultimately get it into a scoring position for a game-winning field goal late.
All right, well, we've seen a crazy lateral in this series before. Let's see if Ole Miss goes the lateral route on this kick. It'll be picked up around the 20-yard line. And there the lateral starts. There's Wilkins with it now, and he has a little bit of room. He'll throw it back. It's on the ground, and that will do it. Arkansas will win this. What a comeback. Down 31-7. They will come back and win it 38-37. And that'll stop the bleeding for a while in Fayetteville, and see if this doesn't give the Hogs some momentum down the stretch.
We talk about the slide for Arkansas, the difficult stretch they found themselves in. They desperately needed a win here today versus Ole Miss. We've seen this scenario before for Brett Bielema and his club. They've been winless before in conference, but Ole Miss has been the team that they've been able to break the seal, and they were able to do it yet again.
Let's go down to Dawn.
Well, Coach Bielema, no Austin Allen, no Frank Ragnow. You're down 31-7. What did you learn about your team in this one?
Well, I know all along. Everybody keeps asking how these kids keep coming back, and there's the answer. They're resilient, got great character. Hopefully we'll take this and parlay it into something bigger.
your defense with 3 takeaways.
Yeah.
What changed from the first quarter to later in the game with that?
All week we kind of talked about we got to change the answer. Obviously, the first half has been going halfway well, but we haven't played in the second half. I thought the way we ended the second quarter would give us great momentum. Can't say enough about these kids. Hats off to Ole Miss. I know they're going through a tough one too, and their kids got great character to fight and make it one of these great games.
Coach, first SEC win for you guys this season. How big was it to do it in this way as you move
This
forward?
makes the next one bigger. Obviously, wanted to have one a lot sooner than this, but we'll take this one, regroup. We obviously got to focus on us because we're having so many guys fall down around us, and we got to get better at us. And, again, a lot of credit to the kids.
Congrats, Coach.
Thank you. Woo pig.
It did not look good in the second quarter for anybody. There wasn't a whole lot of energy, but they brought it somehow, some way, to win this one on the road. Another classic one between the Hogs and the Rebels. Our final score, 38-37. Arkansas wins it. We'll come back, have more from Oxford, but first, time for us to get it to the studio. Peter, take it away.
Thank you, Dave Neal.